This is Jonah Hill, and you're listening to the only podcast that matters.
Bro gang, I say this every week, but I especially mean it this week. We are joined by the cancer killer, the bald-headed baddie, the Baroness of Buffalo, the imperial Italian-American, the princess of what? Of pasts, the queen of emo, call her John Wick because this bitch can't die, the Bed-Stuy savage, the vocal fry vixen, Buffalo's prodigal daughter, the Nostradamus nostril, Lauren Nostro.
Hey, yo.
My God, I want to record that for like any entrance I make for the rest of my life.
Lucky for you, this is being recorded.
Yeah, and to be clear, this is not a Make-A-Wish Foundation type deal.
Maybe it is, though.
Contrary to popular belief, no, you came on the old show, the previous podcast that we cannot name. So it makes sense.
And you almost got me into corporate trouble with the title of that episode, which is called Dick Appointment.
Really?
Oh!
I had to go through Universal Music Group's corporate communications and get clearance to do a podcast. They're like, yeah, just please don't talk about work. And then it comes out and it just says, Dick Appointment with UMG's Lauren Nostro. I was like,
damn. Yo, sorry, hand up. That's on us. Our bad.
I thought it was called Men Are Trash.
I was wrong. That was here's what's sexist. That was Rachel Trashcan Gian De Leon's episode.
Oh, right.
Just another Italian, huh? But
no, Armenian.
Oh, close though.
But a woman. But just a woman, so James can't even keep track of 2 out of 100 episodes that were with the.
No, you're the one that mixed them up.
But I didn't do it on mic, you dummy. You fucking dummy.
What is that? Is that a weed pen?
Oh yeah, I'm smoking weed.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I thought it was a jewel.
Well, I wish I had both, but it's just weed.
Lauren, if you had the chance to do a Make-A-Wish, like what would your Make-A-Wish day be? Like, would you meet Wayne Gretzky? Like, what would it be?
Oh no,
Gronkowski?
No, I just got a new apartment and I was thinking about DMing furniture companies being like, hey, I just beat cancer. I really want this $3,000 couch.
Finesser.
Oh, I know.
Scammer.
I really want furniture. No, I've gotten packages every single day for the last 6 months. My mom is ready to kill me. Can
I ask a huge question right off the bat, since we're talking about Make-A-Wish? At any point were you like, yo, what am I going to do if it comes down to my last day on Earth?
Yeah, I know what I would do. It's so dark. I just really wanted to be back on my turf patio, just chain smoking, drinking copious bottles of wine. Just having friends rotate in and out, which is what I did before I left LA.
So
what would I do on my last day? I don't know.
In a way,
the downstairs bar of my friend Mary's house.
You would have dick appointments coming through.
Yeah.
Rotating through.
I'm Valcel.
No, not like dick and vagina because they would all be friends. What would your last meal be?
Lasagna.
No. Mama
You and Garfield.
Me and Garfield. I don't know. I didn't think about stuff like that. I don't know. I guess that's a really good question.
The fact that you are a woman on this podcast who is a confirmed Volcel, you're going to really connect and resonate with our audience of male Vols.
I really was hoping that would be true. It's really been bizarre. This is the longest I've gone since I lost my virginity at age 15. Huh. No sex. I haven't masturbated. Nothing.
What? Because you have no sex drive at all?
No, they zapped that. That was the first thing that was gone. They gave me these shots in my stomach that put my ovaries on hold. They're fucking gnarly. I mean, it's cool. I didn't want them to get zapped. They're like, do you want to have kids? I was like, eh. And they're like, bad enough where you'd want to freeze your eggs? I was like, no. They're like, okay, cool. We'll just shoot you with these shots every day. So immediately, I had no sex drive.
Did they, did you look at
I'm also in Buffalo, so I don't really know what my...
Well, we're going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about dead ass, but yeah. What the fuck was I going to say? I don't even know.
This is crazy. Well, anyway, why don't we, before we get into the episode, I feel like this is really special. Why don't you fill in everybody real quick? Let's just do a top line summary of the past, year or so of your life.
Okay. Where do I start? Well, I quit Universal Music Group last May. Shout out to me. And I started consulting in LA, which is a very LA thing, which basically means you like go to some meetings, give some ideas, and get paid an extraordinary amount of like stipend
I believe
money.
It's called the American Dream.
Yes, but it's a fucking LA thing. It's like you don't really work except for like maybe 5 to 8 hours a week. And so I spent the summer spiraling. I turned 30. I did a 72-hour birthday extravaganza at the Roosevelt Hotel with my mom in tow. I did Molly for the first time in 5 years. It was really fun.
With your mom?
Yeah.
I mean, not with her, but she was in my presence.
You had a quarter life crisis at 30.
Hell yeah, I spiraled. It was
One
horrible.
third life crisis.
It was fine.
Third.
Yeah, a third. I don't maybe.
Or well, for you, who knows?
Yeah, really, it might have been the last hurrah.
It was almost.
So,
It was 7/8 almost.
Yeah, mate.
It was prophetic. It was.
I was really happy I spiraled all summer, but because then I didn't get to spiral for a long time. But then because I left Universal, I switched health insurance and I got off the pill because I wasn't having sex. And then this lump came up in my boob. And
how did you discover the lump?
Yeah.
So I had really good boobs. So my boobs were like really, what do they call it? They were dense, like fibrous. So they felt like implants. So I didn't have to wear bras.
They were
robust. And I
like
had
a sack of dirt you just want to slap on them
like
while you're walking
past it. Like a sack of dirt, yes. So I had those my whole life. And so it was great. I had these great double D boobs.
Did you name them?
No,
what?
I don't. I don't know. Some people do name their boobs. That's not a thing. But I had great boobs to a point where one time I saw some like janky ass gynecologist when we were at Complex together. And they're like, when did you get implants? I was like, I don't have them. So it was a weird.
Who asked you that? That is
the bad gyno. The gyno was
a bad gynecologist.
Yes, Upper East Side. So growing up, I always got ultrasounds on my boobs, like what pregnant women get when they are pregnant. And so I was always very diligent because I couldn't check, right? So basically one day I like woke up, it was like putting my bra on for whatever reason. And I'm like, oh, that's weird, but it must be because I went off the pill. And then like, this was August. And in September, I came back and visited New York because I was like, I want to leave LA. I'd like to be back in New York. All my family's in Buffalo, my sister's in Brooklyn. And I'm on the G train and I was staying with my sister and she's like, do not fucking touch any of my clothes. I'm like, okay. And I'm wearing her sweater because she's at work. So I'm like, I'm going to put the sweater on, go get like day drinks with someone. And I'm on the G train and my nipple started like leaking in this shirt. And I'm like, that's so weird. Like, what is that? And so there was like a few weeks where I thought in my sleep, I was drooling and it was from cigarettes. So I like quit smoking. And I was like, what is this drool? But it was actually my nipple. And it was like this tumor in my boob grew overnight. And I went to the gyno and you go through these whole things. So you go get an ultrasound. And then they're like, oh, you actually have to come back for a biopsy. So I had actually gone to a friend of mine. I was in New York, went back to LA, went to Buffalo, went to a wedding. And then I was like, this is really fucked up. I got to go back to LA and get this biopsy. Brought my mom back with me to LA for it because she was bugging out about it. The biopsy was probably the gnarliest part of all of my cancer treatment. They basically like take chunks of your boob out while you're awake. So like it was like a massacre. It looked like I fucking murdered someone. So got the biopsy.
Which breast?
My left one, the left.
Did you favor one or the other? Like, were you surprised that the left betrayed you?
No, but it was so much bigger. Like, it was so much bigger. Maybe I'll even send that photo in for my failing or throwing.
Oh, come on.
The throwing fits. I'm sorry, the throwing fits photo. But so it was so much bigger. My mom comes back with me for this biopsy. We get the biopsy. You think that you go sit with like a doctor at the desk and they're like, oh, you have cancer. My gynecologist was like this Beverly Hills gynecologist who was like, yeah, so it's like malignant, but like, we don't know like how bad. So like, we got to send you to UCLA. So I was like, okay, cool. I have cancer, but like, I have no idea how bad it is. And so my mom's there with me and I'm like, don't cry. Like, we don't even know yet. So they sent me to UCLA. I meet with a ton of doctors late October. And like, it was the most performative LA shit. Every doctor came in and was like, we're with you on this journey, but like you have stage 3 cancer. And it was like this really aggressive form of cancer. My tumor was growing at like this crazy high rate that they'd never seen. And they're like, you should start chemo next week. And I was like, I'm going home. So
are LA doctors like extra trash? Are they like,
No,
here's some oils, here's some crystals, here's some radiation.
There's this really good Instagram account called The Cancer Patient, and she calls those people like cancer muggles, where they're like, actually, you should go plant-based and sugar feeds cancer, and like, all of that shit I don't subscribe to.
If you don't eat for 15 days, the cancer will go away.
Yeah, if you fast and you rub essential oils on your tit, great. So we meet with them, and it was so overwhelming. They did it so wrong. They like had an oncologist, which is like the doctor that prescribes you chemo, and then they had the surgeon come in and a radiologist. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is
overwhelming. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, and it's like really like I just need to meet an oncologist. Like I have to do chemo first. And so when they told me I had to do chemo is when I finally cried, because the vain part of me was like, fuck, I'm gonna like look
pubes.
Yeah.
The pubes, my eyebrows and my eye, which you guys can see I don't have them. But so that was the first time I cried. And then they kind of came in and it was this whirlwind, and I had this fucking oncologist like sketching out how cancer cells work. And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to see the inner workings. So I met with them. They came up with this proposed plan, but I'm from Buffalo, born and raised, and we have an amazing cancer center here called Roswell Park. And it's like, so, it's kind of like on par with Sloan Kettering in New York. So I was like, fuck that. I'm going home. I know people that work at Roswell. I'll get VIP treatment. But now I have to move out of LA in a week and a half with 2 cats.
Fuck.
So I start moving out of LA, and I'm posting all my furniture that I didn't give a shit about to sell. And everyone's like, why are you leaving LA? Are you coming back to New York? Where are you working? What's going on? And I was like, fuck this. And I just posted like iconic caption. It was like, if you've sucked them, fucked them, or wanted to touch them, like pour one out. And I forgot, like my dad hadn't told his side of the family yet. So everyone just went like haywire. I told my close friends and my close family, but like I had like 4th cousins in Vegas being like, is she okay? And I felt so bad. And then we sold all my shit, and I like drank so much wine and smoked so many cigarettes on my patio because it was like my final hurrah. And my mom left, and my dad came. We packed all my shit, and then we flew back with my 2 cats. And then I started treatment in Buffalo.
Well, I don't mean to cut off a cancer patient.
Yeah, go ahead. We call
everyone.
People here call me CP for nickname. It's like cancer patient, but
yeah.
I thought that's the name of the guy in Barry. Why don't we get into the fit check, because we are going to go into some detailed questions about your whole journey, as the LA doctors call it.
I want to be clear. When I opened up the floor to Lauren and we gave her this amazing platform, and
which we never do, which we never ever
I know,
do.
and
also, especially not to someone who doesn't know the name of the podcast they're on.
Oh my God, you guys have switched it a few times.
I said top level. You save it for the show.
Okay, all right.
Get there. So Lauren, please.
No, but you know what? That's actually very good, because ideally the really intense, probably tear-jerker episode is going to be behind the paywall.
Oh, right. We're going to
once we get into the meat and potatoes.
Okay, that's fine.
We're cancer.
I saw how much you guys make a month. That's impressive.
Right?
Well,
I'll subscribe now.
Well, before taxes and before we pay the 2 groms that are doing honestly nothing right now. They're on mute and on.
I love
video.
Chuck though.
Oh yeah.
Who we all do. The world does. He's
big fan.
He's an American icon, I would say. But we have no health insurance for this show. So the money, that's great. But
sorry, Chuck. I hope you don't get cancer.
Yeah, exactly. Just to get cancer.
Chuck, do you not want to? Sham's doing family stuff on the side. He's dialing up his fam in India. But Chuck, do you not want to be on video here? Or?
My hair is drying. I'll jump on in a sec.
Chuck, I don't even have hair. Get on the fucking pod.
Chuck, use context clues. Lauren looks like a nut. So
I look like a ball sack.
Yeah.
Uncle Fester. Grown baby.
Grown baby.
Yo, have you seen the big baby?
What big
That's you. That was Lauren.
It is me.
There's a fucking giant baby terrorizing the countryside.
There's a giant baby terrorizing the countryside.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't see the video of the viral video of the 30-pound baby?
That's what I look like, though.
Yes, exactly.
I don't have tits right now, too, so my stomach, like, sticks out. Like, I look like a baby that just, like, got fed.
Baby. Mama.
It's so hot. I haven't had sex for the last, 7 months, and I'm not going to have it after this podcast.
Probably not.
I mean, if you put your Instagram out there, like we're not here to kink shame. I do think though.
I thought about it. I already thought about it.
Being that we have like 17 million followers, I do think there must be like one or two
for sure
comely young gentlemen that maybe have like a thing for
baby play.
Hairless, boobless, grown baby.
Yeah, it's called baby play for sure.
You're making me sound like a mole rat. That's also.
Lauren, there is some dude right now who's like, I want to put that bitch in a diaper and go.
Yeah. I just want to put.
I have so many Halloween costumes set for this year, and like that's one of them. Like Joe Pesci, Home Alone with the gold tooth.
Oh
right?
hell yes, for sure.
What was the other? Uncle Fester is really good.
Samara. You're a browless icon.
Yes, Samara from The Ring because my nails are black from the chemo.
Oh,
so I look like. Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah, there's like really gnarly side effects to chemo. Black nails. I have like alligator skin.
No pubes.
No pubes.
You sound like you have like a disease from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I mean, every week it's like something new. It's kind of fun. It's like a game.
Yeah.
We did a 2 weekends ago or so, or last weekend, we did a Zoom with like, I don't know, 130 of our fans, and a good majority of them were fucking bicked up. Like you would kind of fit in.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Obviously I would never have had a chance to, hi Chuck. Hey, I would never have had a chance to shave my head. And it really was like very gratifying to cue all it. Oh, wow.
We're doing the fit check, right, Lauren? So what I wanted to say is let's bring it back.
Okay.
But because there is some structure here, you know, James.
Yeah, I know.
He has
I
a
was
plan.
reading it.
So the question for you is, what are you wearing, and would you like to start from nut down or?
I'll start from nut down.
You're a cop.
Okay. I am a cop. No, I'm not.
Not only do you have not only are you a CP, but now you're also a police officer.
I'm a cop.
Oh man!
Wait, so what am I wearing? I'm wearing
a CO. You're a CP and a CO. Correctional officer.
What am I wearing? Okay, I'll start feet up. I should have my jacket.
Do you want to go get it?
Yeah, I did have a really good windbreaker on. It's a little bit cold in Buffalo. It's supposed to snow this weekend.
Tell them why you have it.
No, and so
it's snowing in Buffalo in May.
Yeah,
it's going to snow in the whole Northeast.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
So you guys too. So I'm wearing so I have been wearing these Reebok since your last show, and I remember shouting them out then. I still get the same pair every 6 months. They're like the vintage Reebok. I'm wearing.
Can you hold them up? Can we see? Is it a Club C? What is? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, Club C.
Oh, they're the Emily Oberg now promotes these on her Instagram. I felt so cool. I DM'd her. I was like, "Ben, I did it," and then now I can't find them in my fucking size.
Also, Chef as well. Chef is a big.
They're so comfortable. They're so comfortable. I've been getting them since I found them at an Urban Outfitters surplus store in Glendale.
Oh,
that's like an shop.
You and Chuck shop at the same place
for hipsters.
Yeah, it's an outlet mall for hipsters. And then I'm wearing camo leggings from Target.
Nice. Target
has this really fun. They have a new fun line called Wild Fable. It makes like all the tie-dye sweatsuits that I've not worn real clothes since November, so I only wear sweat clothes. Then I went on the Gildan surplus site and I got a bunch of just plain sweaters. So I'm wearing just a black sweater, and then I got blinged up after chemo. So my mom got me some, like the Saint of Cancer, and then a Saint Anthony for.
Who's the Saint of Cancer?
Know.
Like that is a horror. Like who drew that short straw?
Yeah, Saint Cancerous, dude.
Yeah,
that dude's a dick.
Saint Tumero.
Saint Tumero, and then a Saint Christopher for
it's me, Tumero.
I'm blinged up. That's it, and nothing.
Wait, how many chains? How many chains? That 3?
I've been doing 2, but 3 if I'm trying to look cute. My friend Mary gave me a chain after I finished
the windbreaker's mine.
Cancer treatment.
2 chains, but you got a few on.
Yeah, but I just put them on for the first. Well, because I've had mauled tips, so I wasn't wearing chains for a bit, but now I can wear them again.
And the panties. We know you're not wearing a bra, but what about?
I don't wear underwear. Why? I don't have pubes, so I haven't.
That's not why. To be clear, that's not why people wear.
I don't know. I'm like, I feel like a child. I feel like a kid again. Like there's nothing happening down there, so I don't wear underwear.
You're like a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, also my boobs look like that right now, so it's cool.
How much money have you saved on like waxes and treatments?
So fucked up. I never have gotten waxed in my whole life. I was always a shaver, which is kind of gross, but I never had an issue with it. But, and I never really got my hair done. The thing is, I probably am saving about $200 a month on nails, which
you're kind of built for this shit.
Well, I'm also in Buffalo. Like, I don't really leave the house. I actually was in my house for 2 months straight besides treatment stuff. So
we're going to talk about how you're like
you were ready for quarantine because for you, it's
I've been
continuation.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that.
I don't want to interrupt, but that's my
like the whole 40 minutes I've been like, no, we're going to talk about that. I will say this, Buffalo, kind of a sick city. Probably, not if you're, a person of color, but Buffalo kind of rules.
Yeah. It's a little bit, I've been calling it Trump's America up here. I've seen some Confederate flags recently.
I believe, isn't the slogan New York's Boston?
No, it's the city of good neighbors. Thank you.
Syracuse, but dumber.
Yeah. No, we're way better than Syracuse.
Syracuse, but we invented an appetizer.
Wings are not an appetizer. Wings are a meal. No, they're not. That's
listen, you don't need to tell me your boy's eating out here. I'll eat wings as a meal all day. I'm just, Well,
I told James this earlier, but I literally gained probably 25 pounds when I moved back home. Half I blame on the steroids they had me on, but also on being back in Buffalo and being like, I'm going to eat like.
I don't know how much weight do you lose when you get cancer and go on chemo?
So at first I was like, oh my God, this is going to suck. But me being like ignorant in the beginning, I was like, oh, this is tight. I'm going to get implants and I'm going to lose hella weight. Then I I didn't know that they also put you on steroids with breast cancer. So I like ballooned in the first month. And I was like, this is and my skin went haywire. And I'm like, this is so fucked up. Like, not only am I like in cancer treatment and have cancer, like now I'm also big as hell.
I look like shit. Not only do I have cancer on the inside, I look like shit.
And I was like, I got home. My first purchase home, speaking of fit check, was like the LL Bean duck boots. And they would weigh me with the duck boots on. And so they would, and I'd be like, I was like 170 one time. And I was like, this is not who I am. Like, this isn't right. And so I would then be like, you know what? Actually, hold on. Let me take these fucking duck boots off. And I bought a really nice big North Face jacket. And one time they're like, no, just leave it on. I was like, no, I don't want to weigh this much. So I thought, I was like, oh, this is tight. I'll lose like 20 pounds. I'll be like 120, 5'1". Like that's like Kim K stature. And then my ass was like 170, couldn't even fit in the North Face jacket I had just bought. My face was all like swollen. And that's when you can tell, like when I stopped.
Well, you're 170 with Johns. Without Johns, you're like 120.
No, without Johns, I was like 165. I was like, it was a mess. Anyway,
so what I'm hearing, Lauren, is that you were an 8 in Buffalo.
I mean, yeah, I used to be like a 10 in Buffalo.
Now
I'm like a 3. No, 3. No,
you're like a Buffalo 6.
Thanks. I'm a Buffalo 6 these days. That's good.
What are you like? You're like an Albany 7.3?
A Utica, New York 9. That's great.
Utica 9. Shout out Greg Babcock, also from Utica, right?
Yo, Buffalo's tight though. Yeah. I went there with some boys, and the only real like perk I've ever gotten from working from our time at Barstool was when Big Cat put out a tweet and he's like, yo, Buffalo Bills Mafia, who wants to take care of my boy Jimmy for the weekend? He's
he did that.
Yeah. And
wow, I'm not the plug.
No, hell no, dog.
Because we were talking for a while, and you're like, yo, I'm boys with DJ Milk.
DJ Milk. Shout out to DJ Milk. He's the Pagula's DJ.
But I think he's in like bougie Bills Mafia.
Yeah,
Barstool put me in touch with the fucking the goddamn mud, the trenches.
They hate me because of that piece I wrote for Complex, because I was like, oh, Bills Mafia, bunch of fucking drunks, but like fun drunks. And like, actually, we do fundraising and I'm like, I know you do that, but also you guys do this too. So like, whatever. They hated me after this piece I wrote for Complex about going to the home opener.
Damn. Wait,
shout out the Bills Mafia though.
Wait, so have you since squashed the beef with them now that you're back?
No, I'd like to squash the beef.
Oh, but so would you like to use throwing fits right now?
Yes, I'm sorry
and our connections to the extended Barstool universe.
I'm
to
so
apologize.
Sorry. I really
apologize directly to Pinto Ron. That's who really needs
oh my God.
this.
Didn't Pinto Ron die?
What?
No. From
Some,
COVID?
no. Some big Bills person died. I gotta find it. I'll find it. But
it was Jim Kelly.
Yeah, Jim
of
Kelly.
Cancer.
Jim Kelly did not die.
I know, but he had crazy cancer, didn't he?
I know.
Yeah.
It's like a Buffalo curse. Everyone here has cancer.
Well, only the most famous people from Buffalo, clearly.
Clearly, no.
You're Buffalo's first daughter.
There's something in the water. No, I don't know. It's like,
Well, don't say that because you could put something in the water that would cause cancer.
maybe.
It's hot sauce.
Well,
it's
there's
hot
some-
sauce.
Maybe all the wings.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
No, we also live on Lake Erie, which is like pretty fucking gross. Like I'm at my friend Mary's house, and she used to do crew, and you guys, the crew team, found a dead body rowing in Lake
And
Erie,
dead body on a run.
and dead bunnies on a
No,
run. Oh, dead
dead
bodies.
bodies.
Yeah, dead bodies.
Whoa. You want to see a dead body?
So I don't know. Maybe it's Lake Erie.
Well, that's like growing up in Stand By Me is different than like a nuclear power plant polluting.
Wait, there is the Lovejoy,
Love Canal.
the Love Canal in Tonawanda, which is like some other polluted.
Hair blows towards
It's gross. There's
Okay.
just bad stuff happening up here. It's like I heard Aaron Brockovich got involved.
Yo, they had.
No, I'm serious. I really think she did. There's like the Coca-Cola plant here, and it's just everyone here either has had cancer, their family had cancer.
Well, some problems can only be solved by Aaron Brockovich. We know this.
Yeah, she's a goat. I honestly, in one of my manic episodes, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to law school and I'm going to find out why the city of Buffalo has so much cancer. And then I was like, all right,
But with global warming, and with us just finding comforts in food, isn't Buffalo kind of like on the rise?
Wait, so Buffalo is going to be like a sanctuary city for global warming because of like the extreme temperatures here. It's going to be more temperate with global warming. I read that. And National Geographic said we were like the top 3rd food city in all of the U.S. I don't know. I forgot how good food tasted.
So we should gentrify Buffalo right now is what you're saying.
Buffalo's already being gentrified. It's a damn mess over
With
here.
who?
But I mean, I just got a new apartment on Niagara Street next to a fucking tow yard. My dad was like, are you living next to Big Boy's lot? And I was like, yes.
Is it new and nice?
It's so new and nice, and it's so cheap, and it's so renovated.
Wait, James, I know we're going to ask about money, but can you tell us right now on record, how much do you pay a month in rent for your beautiful new gleaming apartment?
In Buffalo, it's $1,350 with the parking spot included, which is important because in LA, I paid an extra $100 a month for my parking spot, which is the scam. So $1,350 with everything but electric and Wi-Fi included. So
how many bedrooms?
It's like it's a bedroom and a half. There's like a den and there's a bathroom and a half, and it's 1,000 square feet.
Damn.
With a patio. And in-unit washer dryer, which I haven't fucking had that since I was 18 and I'm 30.
Go off, queen.
Your money can go fucking far in Buffalo.
Yeah, but like also what the fuck am I going to do for, well, this
Nothing.
is something we can get into, but.
Nothing. You're going to do,
I
you're
have
going to
no
be
idea.
so bored.
Again, you just got to. You know what you should do? You know what you really should do is start up the Barstool Buffalo chapter. Because I swear to God, anytime I just mentioned that I had a pod on Barstool, I was treated like a fucking king. Like I was at some club, I think it was called The National.
Is there a club in Buffalo called The National? No.
Okay, it's something else. But they were like, I have a podcast.
Capper.
And I was like, what bar? What bar did you go to? Find out.
Dick Sucking Ron. I'm trying to find out. He's texted the boys, but Dick Sucking Ron was like, yeah, he's got a pod at Barstool. And people are like, oh, let me buy you a White Claw.
Yeah, they have White Claw. I've never seen this, I guess. I don't know what I was doing in LA, but they have White Claw at bars here, which was shocking.
Oh, yeah.
It's the future. Welcome to the future, Lauren. Also, James, you're an idiot if you think that Barstool doesn't have some type of Buffalo chapter already. But Lauren,
do they not?
For president. You should run for whatever president of whatever chapter and use us as a name drop, and we'll.
I always name drop you guys.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
I linked you on my resume. No, I
Lauren,
should do that.
Lauren, speaking of name dropping, you're clearly an arbiter of taste. You're a Buffalo 7, as we said. Top 70%, top 30% of all good-looking people in Buffalo.
Thank you.
We heavily fuck with you. There's a reason why you're back on the podcast, and it's not because you're Make-A-Wish. So we want to play a little segment, Fuck With Not Fuck With.
Working title.
Still working on the title. You're a writer or former writer. Maybe you can help us with that. We want to throw some categories at you, and you tell us what within those categories you're fucking with.
Okay.
What you're not fucking with. First up, obviously, brands. And it doesn't have to be fashion brands. It can be just all brands.
Yeah. Brands that affect your life in a positive way to start in the fuck with section.
I don't know. I don't even know.
Well,
brands that fuck with my,
No, that you fuck with.
I know, I get it. No, sorry. Line.
We went through this.
I know. I don't have any, I've been wearing Reebok since the last time I was on your podcast. I'm really thankful to Veronica from Beats who sent me my first pair of Beats headphones. That was really great. What other brands? Polar Seltzer.
Thank you. There it is.
Shout out to Polar Seltzer.
What are your flavors?
Ruby Red Grapefruit. Patron for me getting back into tequila. I didn't drink tequila all during treatment. It would do a number on me. Can I not shut up Patron? You're giving me a finger.
No. I was gonna say the club that I went to was called the Rec Room.
You went to Rec Room? Damn! What are you, 18? That's so weird.
He's not 18, but at the time he was trying to sleep with an 18-year-old.
We know. We figured. That's not even a funny joke because that's where 18-year-olds hang out. But Rec Room
it was all college kid. It was all college kid.
So I haven't been.
James sleeping with underage girls. He loves that shit.
James, please don't sleep with. As your former fling, no.
What are the lips pouty?
We forget. Yeah, they look really pouty.
All right, good.
I don't know if your new Throwing Fits fans know, but on the last podcast, we detailed how we made out at Kinfolk. And I was like, and Julian, my former roommate, shout out to Julian, was like, you were making out with James and I had to pull you out of Kinfolk. And I was like, he had such pillowy lips. It was great.
Hey, yo, listen, man. The heart wants what the heart wants.
So besides my lips, what other brands are you fucking with? What is the best? Who has the best wings in Buffalo? Let's just get straight to the fucking.
So okay, yeah. I'm not a brand person these days. I'm really into these Champion or Gildan. No, this is a Champion hoodie. I'm so basic. I wear.
Did you say Gildan earlier?
Yeah, I meant Champion. Whoops.
I think Champion had a factory.
Oh wait, you know what? Let me shout out one thing actually really quickly. The number one brand I'm fucking with these days is Juicy Couture because I found
a juicy cootie.
A juicy couture.
I found my old Juicy Couture seersucker or what do you call that?
Seersucker.
Terry cloth. Sorry, terry cloth. I don't.
Seersucker. What are you, a fucking lawyer in the Old South?
Okay, if they did make seersucker, I'd buy it. So I found my old terry cloth hoodie, and after my double mastectomy, I had drains, which we can talk about in time, but their pockets on the front were the best for the drains. So for 2 weeks, I just wore this hoodie. And then my best friend, Mary, was like, we were talking about Juicy, whatever. And she bought me off Poshmark, one of those velour.
Ooh.
So I've just been really dressing kind of half Guidat, half mob boss, but stuck in 2009.
You're like, you're like the Simple Life.
You're the female Tony Soprano.
Yeah, kind of. So then also for my, I finished chemo present to myself, I was very high off an edible, and I've always wanted one of those Balenciaga motocross bags that Lindsay Lohan used to wear in 2009. So I bought myself one of those off the Real.
Hell yeah!
Cute, I guess.
How much?
It has a little. It was $4.75. It has one of the front Coke pouches, which I thought was cute. I love the front
Coke tour.
Coke tour.
Coke tour. Yes, I'm very Coke tour these days. I'll say that. And that's it. I don't know. Marlboro. Can I check? No, I'm kidding.
So can you still blast darts?
I've definitely snuck some cigs during my treatment time.
What was the recommendation from the doctor?
Please don't.
Is that common? Are there a lot of chemo patients that?
Yeah, I mean, there's this memory. So when I first moved home, I super quit, and then I'd be out and about during the first bouts of chemo, and I'd be whatever, I'll have one. Chemo is gonna fucking shock this out of my body anyway, and on Mondays. And then around my surgery, they were we know because I'm very honest with my doctors, and they're we know you've been sneaking these, but do not sneak these because we won't do reconstruction on you if you smoke cigarettes. And
it's that bad?
They're holding your titties hostage?
No, because like the smoking fucks with your blood oxygen levels. So like it could not heal right. So they were like really up my ass about that. So like, again, like at this point, like I'm grossed out that I ever woke up in the morning and had a cup of coffee and a cigarette. Like that is not what I'm at.
You and me both, brother.
It's gross. Like I'm like, I like smoking still when I drink, but
listen,
it tastes so good. It tasted so good.
Listen, Lauren. I agree, it's gross. I agree.
But I romanticize cigarettes so much. I know.
Good.
I know. So like it was fucked up. Like I will be honest. My last day of chemo. We were, and there's something really calming to me about cigarettes still. But like on my last day of chemo, I was so sick. And I was so like relieved, but also like I knew I had surgery, and like I literally celebrated my last day of chemo by having a cigarette and then eating like Korean food.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, that was so gross. And my mom was like, whatever, like do what you need to do. But like I don't regret it. Like it was because I felt like that for me, it was like a control thing. Like I couldn't have them, but now I could. So like let me do it. And then I was like hoping it would ruin cigarettes for me, but it was like kind of glorious.
They could never be ruined. They could never be ruined.
Did you get to smoke weed during chemo? Like, was that? I don't know.
Yeah, so I smoked a lot. I smoked some weed.
Or ingest weed, rather?
I ate a lot of weed. And then I did 2 months full sober. So
that sucks. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know. No, it's okay. I told you I'd be honest. So during my treatment, I was like exposed to so many resources at this cancer center. And one of which was like, you can meet with a therapist and you can meet with a psychiatrist. So I met with the psychiatrist for the first time in my life. And I was like, let's see what this is about. And she's like, it sounds like you have bipolar 2, which is like manic depression. I was like, yeah, sure. That makes sense. And so she put me on mood stabilizers, which is like a very chill thing that I'm a huge fan of, the lowest dosage. And I was always like, bipolar, that's so crazy. Like manic, like I'm not like a full, but there's bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. So these mood stabilizers.
On your Kanye shit.
Yeah.
No, he's like definitely bipolar 1. I was like more like when I'm really happy, I'm like, oh my God, everything's great. Like this is the best thing. And then if I'm depressed, I'm like, this is horrible. But I didn't have a true manic episode. So they put me on these mood stabilizers. So for my own brain, because I was kind of relieved to like, this is nice to know, I went full sober for like 40 days to like 2 months ish. I don't know the exact day. So I did it. And then at the end, at the end of chemo, my lungs everything was so weak that they were like, don't smoke. You could actually get a lung infection. And I was like, okay. So then I just ate weed. And I learned how to make my own edibles. My mom is like always kind of made her own brownies and cookies and whatever.
Your mom rules, by the way. I don't know if she used to be a constant presence on your IG, and she's just like a fucking awesome
we live together
awesome
now,
cool
so
mom.
We live together. So like
now you hate each other.
No, the like novelty of putting my mom on my stories every day wore off. Like my mom's a crazy person. Speaking of Bills, she was a former NFL cheerleader, so she's a big Bills fan. She was a Buffalo Joe.
Did she ever pipe OJ?
I asked. She said no, but she did cheerlead during his era, early 80s-ish, maybe. And then my family has all been Buffalo Joes. So my aunt was a Buffalo Joe. Yeah. And now they're done because the Bills didn't pay. They weren't paid, whatever.
Because of Me Too.
You do the jiggle test.
They did. There was like really fucked up things they would do.
Like how you audition, you got to do a jiggle test.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
Oh, I heard. Test. That's what I heard. I heard. And I wanted to know.
My mom was in the era where it was very like rah-rah, pom-poms, like just like basic dancing, not like what they do now.
It's like 80s aerobic style.
Like jazzercise.
Jazzercise, exactly.
We still have I have this like really cool Jill's jacket. I have like a Jill's tracksuit from her era. It's cool.
Fire.
Well, the Bills are a brand. The Bills are like a brand.
Huge brand.
Their stock has risen.
Yeah, there's an ongoing joke that like this will be the year that they like make the Super Bowl again, but no one will be able to go cheer or celebrate it. So like that's going to be.
Oh yeah.
And if you're a Buffalo fan, it's still worth it.
Yeah, then everyone just gets hammered in their houses and then fucking drunk drives in Buffalo. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun up here.
That's right.
Hella drunk
Buffalo,
driving.
the capital of drunk driving.
Hella drunk driving in Buffalo. I will say that. I was partying at the Pinto Ron tailgate with some guy, and he was fucking hammered.
Grabbed his car.
On handles, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm driving back to Philly after this. It's all good."
Yeah, he's not from Buffalo if he lives in Philly, but sure.
No, he's from Buffalo, lives in Philly, drives back for every game.
Everything in Buffalo.
And then drives back to Philly for his job.
That's disgusting. That's also a really far drive.
To be clear, Philly garbage as well. So
yes.
Speaking of edibles, the only time I ever went to Philly was when Julian and I went for Made in America with Budweiser, and Julian and I ate an edible on the way up, and it was my first edible, and I was fucked the whole weekend.
You had your first edible? That would have been 2015.
Yeah, 15. I didn't like weed growing up. I was a drinker. I never liked weed.
You didn't like it, like it made you paranoid or whatever?
Yeah, like the first time I ever smoked weed, I remember like my best friend Carly and I smoked it, and we thought it was lace. Like it had. She convinced me it was sprayed with Windex, and she started throwing up, and I was so high, and she's puking, and I remember she was like puking into this plastic bag I was holding, and she was like, "It was laced," and like I never touched weed again.
Hey, you want some lean? Oh wait, sorry, it's Windex. Sorry, my bad. I got confused.
Your insides were so shiny though. Your organs were just see-through.
Yeah.
So I mean,
What are you going to smoke a blunt laced with Windex? I guess now that we're adults, we know that sounds crazy, but
there's just a lot of weird weed memories we have. My friend just reminded me, like, we got high one time and went to Jim's Steakout. Did you go to Jim's Steakout while you were here, James?
No, I don't think
so. It's like a late night food spot of like chicken finger subs and like, I don't know, the stinger wrap and like a stinger.
Tell them about 2 subs.
The stinger wrap, which is like half steak hoagie, half chicken finger sub. And like my friend Mary was so high, she like put the weed on the counter to pay. This is like before weed was ever legal anywhere. So I had some bad weed memories in high school.
Okay, that's fair.
Then I moved to LA, so.
What happened? Okay, so I think where are we in fuck with, not fuck with, James?
We're still on brands. What brands are you not fucking with?
Yeah. What brands do you hate?
I don't hate any brand.
Oh, come on.
I hate Susan G. Komen, the breast cancer brand.
Oh.
There's a breast cancer brand?
Yeah, like, okay, so remember, actually, James, you gifted these to me. Remember when we got pink Tims at Complex in like 2014 and they were like my size because they were like a men's 5.5?
Sure.
Anyway, Susan G. Komen is like the breast cancer brand, and I just don't fuck with it. It's like everything I got during treatment that I bought that the cancer center like the resource center, the cancer center donated, whatever. Everything was like pink and floral and butterflies. And it was like, literally like when I was recovering from my surgery, I'm laying in a bed. One pillow has fucking ladybugs all over it. The other one has butterflies all over it. And all the pillows were pink. And I'm like, this doesn't even vibe with general.
This is cancer. This interior design is cancer.
Yeah. And it's like, why
Mom, I'm goth now, Mom.
It's just like, why does breast cancer shit have to be like pink? And
I look like Uncle Fester.
Yeah, like, bitch, I want a black pillow and maybe some like top, like, I don't know. Just
I'm part of the Addams family now.
Bitch, I'm a human testicle. I don't want to be surrounded by pink right now.
Ball sack. I don't want to have.
When you see things like NFL doing breast cancer month, not breast history month, which breast history month would be entire month.
Here's the history of my tits.
Chucker Chef, we're going to trademark Breast History Month. Get on that. We need
breast cancer awareness month.
No, I think
are you just like, what is this trite fucking
No.
bullshit?
That's all for like, I respect that like people do this for like funding because you want to fund research, right? So a lot of like people being like, oh, we're doing this and this for breast cancer awareness month. That just makes us, or I don't want to say us, I hate that, but like breast cancer patients, then like they get better funding for research studies done on breast cancer. That's not a bad thing. I just don't know why everything has to be pink and floral and butterflies and ladybugs. Like,
it's obnoxious.
Can you confirm?
Well, imagine like men can have breast cancer. Do you want to have a fucking pink pillow after you get your tit chopped off?
Absolutely. But that's just me personally.
What's the color of nut cancer? Like, what's the official color?
I don't know.
Blue? Is it blue? It's got to be blue, right?
Yeah, like why don't any other cancers have colors?
You know why? Blue lives matter, bro.
Oh, stop.
Blue balls matter. Blue balls.
You know how I feel. Fuck all cops, baby.
Fuck 12 over here.
No, but it's funny. This year was supposed to be the ride for Roswell, my cancer center, on my birthday. And I was like, if anyone I know is riding in that, I'm going to be pissed because number one, we should be day drinking for my birthday, but otherwise, like, just donate to me directly. Like, why does it have to be to my cancer center? Like, I'm done there. No, I'm kidding.
Wait, you want to shout out your Venmo? What's your Venmo?
It's just my name, Lauren Nostro. I don't need any Venmo. If anyone wants to send me things I'm looking for, a couch, mid-century furniture, really nice plates, maybe a cast iron.
Okay. I think you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself. What I was going to say is if you've been listening to Lauren and you want to throw her a $5 or a $10.
Yeah, Lauren Nostro.
It cost a $5. I had a $10.
but also at the same time, if you want to cop her an Eames lounge chair, apparently.
Yeah, please.
Go crazy.
Is it Eames? I always thought it was Eames. Is it Eames?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Ames. How corny am I? I buy the fake Eames chairs off Amazon, and they come in packs of 4.
That's an Ames.
You bought
an Ames.
Yo, you bought a loud pack of 4 Eames chairs.
Bro, this is a thing that Julian taught me. So Julian, I moved in with Julian. I love Julian. Julian, I'm so sorry I'm throwing the bus. I know Julian's like really about brands.
So who cares? He's so hot.
So Julian's I really want these chairs, and I was like, my dad is in construction now, but at one point was an architect, and we live around a bunch of like Frank Lloyd Wright houses. And my dad had taste. So I didn't know what these chairs were. And Julian's like, I want to buy these off Amazon. They're like 4 for like $120. I was like, all right, cool. We'll split it. And I was coming in with this like amazing Scarface table that was glass. And I was like, this is going to be really fun to do coke off of. And so we had this like really like
best roommate ever.
The table that I bought was like $100. Julian's like, we got to get these chairs. Now come to find out years later, I found out eventually, but they're like the fake Eames chairs, and like
so it's embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
Every apartment I get them because I'm like, this shit looks rich, and they fucking wear and tear well, and no one knows. And you guys are like brand kings. And if you came to my house, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know if they were real or not.
We're brand whores, but the point that you're making, which I agree with, is perception is reality, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
That's all that matters, you know?
Fake it till you make it. Just fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Fail upwards, perhaps.
Fail upwards.
Lauren, I want to ask you about what's on the feet. Sneakers. You know you got the fucking box on.
You're gonna love this.
What sneakers are you fucking with right now? And don't say Fila's. Please don't.
I don't. I never got into the Fila.
Okay, you are going on record right now under oath saying.
I swear to God on my life.
Because that is some truth. That is some true foot cancer right there.
Yeah. Well,
let me ask you, be honest with us. If you weren't dying, would you have copped a pair to test drive?
If I wasn't dying. No, the only thing that I was kind of like turned on by was like, does it give me height? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like substantial. That's why it was so popular.
And they got the monster truck.
I wouldn't know how to.
They would turn you 6 foot.
I can't even walk in my Vans that are like the thicker Vans, like the high rise Vans.
So what's your current sneaker rotation?
So obviously I love my Reebok, but my friend Ariel sent me like this insane Adidas package of like comfy clothes and Ultra Boost, and I really, really love Ultra Boost. But I really specifically love this Ultra Boost pair that I don't care. I don't work for anyone anymore, so I can talk shit. I started at Universal in 2017. At the time, GOAT was really picking up. And this kid that worked for GOAT was like talking to my boss, and he's like, we want to do all these artist partnerships, but we don't have any connections. And my boss was like, oh, you should meet Lauren. So this dude from GOAT basically jacked me of all of my artist connections. I was like giving him emails to managers and publicists and like kind of whatever, and he gifted me 1 pair of Ultra Boosts for all of these contacts I got him for GOAT. And they're the white Ultra Boosts from 2017, and I'm so obsessed with them, and they don't make them anymore, to the point where I had my uncle paint the sole with white paint so they look brand new. And I like threw them in the washing machine, bleached them, and then painted them so they look new. And that's all I've been wearing.
That is some thrifty shit.
Oh, yeah. And then I got Crocs. I got the camel Crocs with like the fur lining.
And they say white people have no culture. Come on.
Right? And then a friend,
Think again, sweetie.
Wait, Lauren, can I ask you a real question?
What?
So you're probably the most Italian fucking Ital that I know. Do you think are Italians white people or not? Can you settle this?
What? Italians are 100% white people.
Wait, How is that a question?
What are you talking about?
Because Italians don't think they're white.
Yeah.
That's a thing, James.
I'll say this. I'll say this. When
Italians don't think that they're white people.
No.
They think that they're like,
especially Sicilians.
Well, to be fair, no one wants to be white, so I understand where they're coming from. And yes, when they're first coming over in like the 1800s all the way to like the 1920s, they were considered non-white.
Excuse me. I mean, Italian Americans. I should have been more.
Yeah,
you know what I meant.
Italian American. Well, no, to me, like Italians don't think they're white.
That's why they tan so much. That's why they tan so much.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Joe LaPuma really thinks he's 100% white? No. We know that.
but here's the question.
I love Joe, but like I don't like he doesn't like I don't know. I didn't.
Should Joe LaPuma come on this podcast? This is a big point. Point of contention.
Can we get Joe to get on the pod yet, or what? Like, what is the issue? He's not that busy. No one's shopping for sneakers, dog. We're going into a depression.
I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but Italian Americans are white people.
Italian Americans are white people.
Irish Americans
are white people.
Yes. Jews are Jews.
I'm not Jewish, so I'm not commenting.
I can say that because I am Jewish.
Okay, so if you're Jewish,
Lawrence, I'll say this. Lawrence, go watch the first episode of Black AF. Go watch that.
I heard it's really good.
And I heard it's kind of mids, but I think it really, they talk about the same shit we talk about, which is like, Gucci sweatsuits. But there is a monologue where what's his name? Kenya Barris. He has like a Jewish personal assistant and the guy's like, well, I'm Jewish. And he's like, bitch, you white. Like, don't even fucking try that.
Yeah.
Like, well, of course, I am white to a black person, but I'm just as I feel like.
Oh, so you're masking? You're masking.
So you're talking only to white people when you guys consider yourself. I'm masking. Italians are white. Jews are white.
I did realize this kind of hit me during our live Zoom when we had a reporter from the New Yorker in the cut. I was like, damn, all we do is talk about race. This is kind of fucking weird. And then you're going off like on your weird German accent, talking about like demanding to know what race people are. Like I was like, yo,
demanding. Stop. Here's the thing that I find offensive. I'm not demanding anything. I am trying to learn. I'm trying to educate.
Shut up, Lauren.
So I can further the discourse.
I will say Sicilians consider themselves not white. Like I know, like, and I'm.
Are you Sicilian?
I'm like fucked up. Like I'm.
Yes, we're very aware. We're all fucked up.
So my family is from Calabria.
Ooh, the Chilis.
Yeah, Calabrese, Chile. So we're from like right over the like. What is that? An ocean? Sea.
Mediterranean.
Jesus Christ! That's
you clearly know what you're talking about.
As tequila once, huh?
Chemo brain?
Yeah, no, chemo brain is what we call it, which is a real.
Oh, that's what I have too, by the way.
My friend that I'm with she was born with chemo brain. So.
Oh, Lauren, by the way, when you talk to Mary, we can hear Mary.
Sorry, yeah, you can hear her. Okay.
A little bit, yeah,
sorry.
Which is fine.
Sorry, guys.
It's fine. It's
my best friend from childhood.
Have you been to the motherland?
Yeah, I've
been
to
the fatherland.
It was a fucking horrible experience. Do you want to know why? Speaking of brands, Mercedes-Benz makes a fucking station wagon. And my mom, when we were going to Italy, she's like, can you believe it? This like Mercedes-Benz station wagon is like so fucking cheap. So I rented it. And my grandfather was like, what is a station wagon, right? Because he's like so Italian, he barely spoke English. We're driving up the mountainside to visit my grandfather's family, and we're driving in this huge car, which in Italy and in Europe, they don't drive big cars. So we're like, there's no guardrail. So I'm like, we're going to fucking die. And here's my mom. She's like, I'm so sorry we got the station wagon. Like, we literally almost couldn't drive it where we were going. And then we get to the top of the mountain, and my grandfather's like, takes us some plaque. And it was like the homeland or the hometown of Gianni Versace.
Ooh, really?
So he grew up next to Gianni Versace, and we thought it was like, I never took it seriously.
Please get the fuck out the property.
But here we are, like driving up this fucking mountainside in a Mercedes-Benz like station wagon, and we're like almost like literally falling off the cliff. And my mom's crying because she feels so horrible renting this huge car in Europe. And then we get to the top of the hill, and my grandfather's like, I just wanted to take you here so you could see my hometown and know where Gianni Versace.
What Italian rents a Mercedes?
My mother, who's so tacky. When I was in LA, I drove a Fiat, so I was like real Italian.
Like J-Lo.
Yeah.
But I had to give it up. I actually had to find someone to take over my lease.
Otherwise, I do think the Drake remix of Versace with Migos has one of the best libs.
So good.
Outro music,
Still
potentially outro music.
Absolutely.
That'd be a good throwback, yeah.
I think the ad lib that I'm thinking of is one of the Migos is like, I don't want to hear your opinion. Like that's the full ad lib.
That was when Migos, and this is the best transition we could ever hope for, because we have, while also a human ball sack, she has very great taste in rap music.
Thank you. Yes. I did.
And let's Lauren.
What? I haven't listened to music in a year.
It doesn't have to be new. We just want to know what you, Lauren Nostro, future hip hop correspondent of Throwing Fits.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later. What music are you fucking with? I have to imagine, as I've rewatched Breaking Bad, so to my understanding, you just kind of sit there in a chair. Like, you must have been listening to music while you're getting your.
Yeah. I didn't listen to music, so so I was weird. Like when I was driving around, if I'm at a friend's house, like I put on Ice Cream Paint Job yesterday when we were drinking. Like, I'm very
Doro,
in like a kind of like juvenile party mode, but I did listen to music a few times in the cancer center, because what would happen is, fuck cancer centers. You walk in and it's like 8 o'clock in the morning and you're going to get injected with poison, and they have like a live like guitar player sitting in there.
Oh,
they're playing like the worst time was when I got
playing Wonderwall.
Like essentially, but the worst time was
I the guitar. It's like Animal House.
I got chemo. I got chemo on like Christmas Eve, and I walked in, and it was like 7:30 in the morning, and they're playing like "Oh Holy Night," and I just started crying because I was like, "This is the most depressing shit I've ever heard of."
What the fuck?
No, it was horrible. And now, because of COVID, you can't have volunteers and you can't have fucking guitar players and fucking harpsists in there. So what I did was I actually like filed, not a complaint, but like a, like you can like
a grievance
comments. And I was like, it's so much nicer to walk in and listen to like soul music.
Your chemo center has a suggestion box?
Yeah. Every single thing should have a suggestion box.
All right. I know that you're out, but if you still have homies that are getting chemo, have them, because Lawrence and I, we're trying to go on tour, once like COVID's over.
Okay.
What if, this is kind of an untapped market, but what if we start doing live shows in chemo centers?
Yeah, dude.
That would be a living hell.
Oh, dude.
For them or for us?
For both. Also, like, you can't. Like, no one's gonna like. Okay, so a friend of mine plays guitar, and he was home for the holidays, and he was like, "I'm gonna volunteer at Roswell because you're in chemo." And he's like. And so he goes through the application process, and they're like, this isn't exactly what we're looking for, but we'll get back to you. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You have like, the people that were playing these instruments were older and looked more sickly than the people that I was getting chemo next to. And I was like, this is so
what
like.
What kind of music does your boy play?
Like, just like, I don't know, yacht rock, let's say. But I was just like, who knows? It was just horrible and depressing. So sometimes, I love this stick. So one time when I went in, like usually I would play like opera music. I don't know, like a lot of opera.
First of all, this is insane to me, because you walk in to get your treatment and some fucking hippie is
dead ass. I will send you a fucking video. Like, and I would walk in being like, is this seriously necessary? Like,
it's like a Juicy J. Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, no. And then, it was insane.
No, play bangers.
Wait, and then one time I was in the breast center, right? Because there's all these different centers in the center. And I'm waiting for my appointment. This motherfucker rolls up, stands in the corner, and just starts strumming on his guitar. And I was like, no, this is like not, like, this is not the territory. Like, that's supposed to be downstairs. And I complained, and they're like, no, there are people that volunteer to play music and just walk around the hospital and play wherever they feel like they should.
Just because you volunteer doesn't mean you can fucking volunteer.
I was also like younger than everyone else there by 30 years. So I was like, maybe I'm just being.
Who is this for?
But the thing, who is this for? Who is this for? Who does this help?
This helps the guy playing the guitar. That's
I was trying to watch, like, it was really fun. Like, it was so weird because, like, in years past, like when they would announce like Grammy nominees, I'd be like at the complex office and we'd be fucking like pounding away at our keyboards.
Late night.
Or like
Wolf
even
of Wall Street shit.
Yeah.
Morning. Like I'm talking about like the nominees, like when they do like Golden Globe nominees and like Grammy nominees, like you would be in like the complex office super fucking early to blog it.
Frazier
And
thought
now-
going brazy on the sticks.
Chops sweating behind him, pacing, getting the fucking details.
Kill
My thing
me,
was,
someone. Chops got the meat sweats.
Chops is, shout out to Chops. Chops is a little anxious right now in quarantine.
Chops
But
needs a fucking haircut. I FaceTimed with that man today. He needs a fucking haircut. Let me tell you that.
everyone needs a fucking haircut besides me. So
Yeah, facts.
But I'm like, in years past, we all got there early and got our coffee and cigarettes in and blogged the shit out of it. This year, I'm like sitting there watching Grammy nominees with a bunch of like 60-year-old people that are like, who's that? Oh, cool. And I'm like, this is like so humbling. Like last year I was like at Universal and we're like, did an artist that we were working with get nominated? And now I'm in my cancer center and there's like 50 of us just watching the same small ass fucking 30-inch TV, and we're like, oh, I think I know that. Like it was the most.
Wait, so because you were just actually very recently, in the fucking war room doing the thing, who should we be listening to? Like, who are you riding for?
No one.
No one?
I don't know.
Not even new shit, Lauren. Like what was on? I want to know what you were frequently playing.
I really like the Snow Allegra album. Was it this year or was it last year? No, this year. I'm like, what day is that?
2020.
Like right now we're listening to Yeezus. I still really like Yeezus.
Yeezus, right? Yeezus right now for me.
It's kind of wild. It really hits. It hits.
James and I talked about this. We were super fucked up, so I don't really remember the argument that was made. And I think the video will come out later. But I think Yeezus for the Throwing Fits podcast is the number one Ye record right now.
Oh, 100%. Also, I think we all worked at Complex during that time. I remember going to like North 7th and Bedford when I was vining it. Which, that's another weird thing. Like
Slaves projection.
Yeah, and I remember doing that. And that's another weird thing for me now is like seeing the growth of TikTok and like being so a lot of what I've dealt with is like nostalgia. So I'm like, I don't really want to listen to new music, but like, oh, I want to feel like how I felt like during this record. And like another weird thing is like the TikTok like surgence during COVID, especially, and me being like so nostalgic for Vine. Like it's bizarre, but I don't really have a ton of reps.
What other nostalgia is like bringing you back? Like, is it?
There's like so many weird things.
Like, is it like 16 like Uzi and Yachty, or is it like before even like?
No, it's all before that. I feel like for me, a lot of the nostalgia is like. I mean, like, there's nostalgia in a lot of.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Or like when we were like, my friend and I, when we were like younger and we're in Buffalo, and it's like. We're 18 to 21 and we're out at all these bars because like we went to bars underage here. So like, no, Rec Room wasn't. What was Rec Room before it was Rec Room?
Rec Room.
No, because Rec Room used to be
Discovery Zone.
When Campbell got thrown down the stairs.
Chuck E. Cheese.
The bar that Rec Room is now is a bar that my friend got thrown. The Lodge. A friend of ours got thrown down the stairs by a bouncer at like what it used to be. Like
I'm sure he deserved it.
No, he didn't deserve it. No one gets. But my point is,
Lauren, can I ask you, Lauren, before we lose the plot completely again, like we have done
100 times, I know,
69 times.
I'm the worst guest.
What do you think of Griselda as someone from Buffalo? What does Buffalo think of the glow up, which we've talked about it a bit with some guests? Dro, I think James.
Yeah, Dro probably loves him.
Obviously, but like
Dro was does he still work for Shady Dro?
No, he's at Def Jam.
He's at Def Jam full time.
But Dro was Shady before, no?
Right, yeah. But like West Side Gun is fucking sick. Benny the Butcher is fucking sick.
So I'm a big fan. I love for me it's like Benny, Conway, West Side, and that's no shade. That's just like my preference in rappers.
What do you think of the fucking West Side record?
No, it's all great. And I'm really happy for Buffalo that it's like, I always feel like this kind of regret because I remember Now Right posts. Was it Now Right? I don't know.
Now Right, probably.
Probably like posting them early. And then I always feel like I like didn't do this like due diligence for Buffalo.
Because you were gone, right? You were gone by then, right?
Well, I think it was like at the tail end of my Complex True blogging days, like when they were kind of starting to brew. But I think it's exciting. I think Buffalo this is a problem with Buffalo. Like, it has so much potential all the time, and I just want to see something come to fruition here for it. So it's really exciting. I think people here are really excited about music again, but at the same time, Buffalo is like an incredibly racist, horrible city in that sense. Like, Griselda did not perform here on their fucking big tour. Like, what would Sheen gonna do? Like, because they don't want to, because it's a predominantly white market. I don't know the reasoning behind why Buffalo was not a tour stop on the WWCD tour. I don't get it. I don't know what the reasoning is, but I do think, like, my biggest thing coming home is, like, you see all these people on tour all the time, and they're doing New York and they're doing Toronto as shows. Why wouldn't you stop in Buffalo? Chances are you're driving through it to get to Toronto, because a lot of people either start their tour in Toronto or they start it in New York, then go to Toronto. And it's like, and I went to school in Toronto growing up, and like, so I'm an hour and a half from Toronto. So my thing is, like, it's weird here that
I think it's just all the Buffalo people can go to the show in Toronto, and
they can, but it's still like, why wouldn't you just do a smaller show here? I'm like still trying to figure out why, and a lot of it is like they don't let you book rap shows here. It's still incredibly racist.
I mean, it might be.
I've had friends.
The system.
I've had friends. And I've had friends that have DJ'd in places in Buffalo, and they've been told, you brought too dark of an audience, is a direct quote. What? That a friend of mine who booked a DJ set in Buffalo had someone tell them that, I don't know if he was a promoter, if he was working at the bar, whatever, like, direct quote. And like, that's such a fucked up thing for me, because it's like everyone else in the entire, it's so weird to be here because everyone else in the entire country is like, Griselda is the shit. This is so fucking dope. Look at this. It's like real rap, and like Drake's down for them and blah, blah, blah. But like at home, like half the people I talk to don't even follow them.
Wait, Lauren,
or I hear stories like that.
Lauren, growing up, what rap shows did you go to in Buffalo? Like, who played? Did anyone, or did you go to Toronto?
We went to, rap show-wise, like, I remember I saw Danny Brown here. We went to Toronto a lot, and I went to school there. Like, I went to undergrad in Toronto.
Right. Okay, so you were there when you were 18 plus, something.
And we used to go to the government, and like, that's where my first like concert in Toronto was Justice. It's like, I'm so happy I saw it. So cool.
Justice slaps, dude.
Dude, Justice is great.
They're the non-robotic Daft Punk.
Or like, wait, so
we had them in Nashville Music one time.
We saw Kanye in 2004 at University of Buffalo, which is like another weird thing.
Glow in the dark.
Yes.
Yeah,
amazing.
I saw that. I saw Glow in the Dark in North Carolina. Like,
weird shit. Yeah. But when he did the college tour, which was like super dope, and
that's all I saw. Yeah.
So it's so weird because right now, like, so much of my life is about like memories. Like, I haven't lived in Buffalo since I was 21, so like, I'm grieving and living in Buffalo again and being nostalgic. So for me, like, I remember we just talked about this recently, like going to see Kanye. It would have been 10 years ago when I moved back. And then like, I saw the Kills in Toronto. That came up recently on my Facebook memories. Like, we were back and forth, but like rap show, I mean, like, we used to have like hip hop night at a bar in Buffalo called Hardware in Allentown. And like, they would play, and this is like 2007 or 2008, 2009. And they'd play like Tribe Called Quest, and they'd play Flo Fully. Like, it was very like that type of hip hop, not particularly progressive.
Taste that shit.
Trash.
Listen, some of it was fine.
Fine.
Lauren, what about when you moved to LA? Like, did moving to LA kind of skew your taste in music?
No, I just think like when I moved to LA, I was like, I was so bad in New York. Now I'm going to be so good, like, in general. And I think, I don't know what kind of fake like life I lived for a year. It feels like a blur. I think in terms of, it was 2 years. But I think in terms of LA music, like, a lot of what I liked was what I could drive to in the car. So there were certain songs, like, I loved Money in the Grave. Like, I would be blasting that shit in my Fiat, cigarette out the window, being like, I'm the baddest bitch in LA. Like, that was how I rated music. Was like, what felt fucking cool to drive to.
Yeah,
like, that was so different.
It's called emotion. It's called human fucking condition.
But then, like, you'd come to my house and I'd be like blasting like Mariah Carey Fantasy throughout my house. And like,
music is there. Music is there to soundtrack your life however you need it.
Well, music's got a pass.
Narrative fucking helps you along on your on this painful, miserable fucking existence.
But it's also like they always talk about the car test, where it's like anything you play in the studio sound.
And I do believe that. I really do believe. Well,
you gotta play it on your shitty fucking earbuds or.
You work for Def Jam. Like sometimes I would go in the studio.
Hey,
people.
Let's leave my job out of this.
Oh, sorry. Sometimes you go in the studio with people and be like, "This shit sounds fire," and then you hear it on a regular speaker, and you're like, "No, it just sounded good because we were in the studio and it was like an overwhelming noise
the bass
quality,
was vibrating my body." I felt like
right. So of course it feels good. So a lot of it was car tests, and I think for me, like with chemo and cancer treatment, especially, like I didn't listen to a lot of music because I never wanted to associate music. I never wanted to associate music with a certain point of that. So like for me, I'm like a nostalgic person. So I never wanted to be like, oh, am I halfway through my chemo? I was listening to this record. And then I'd never be able to listen to it
again. Bon Jovi, oh, halfway there.
No, I would never have done I would have never done that.
That's like the standard 30-minute. It's a 30-minute power hour.
You get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
You're not going to be like the most depressed, saddest form of yourself and be like, I'm going to listen to music right now. Like, it's like, no, it's like
across the board, though, in terms of what you're not fucking with, like, obviously you're not fucking with new music, but in general, but
I'm not fucking with it. I'm just saying, like,
so what really stands out to you? Like, because obviously you're still kind of consuming it and like on top of what's out there and what's getting released. Like, to you? I don't know. Like, is there anything that stands out where you're just like, wow, this is what people are fucking with now?
I'm so impressed with, I really am so impressed with like what Griselda has done and how I just like, it's so nice to see everyone on Twitter at least talking about it when I go on and linger on my like one day a month. No, if there's anything that it's kind of sad. There's nothing during quarantine that's really like impressed me music wise where I'm like, oh, this is such a great way of doing this. Like I love like the verses stuff is so cool to me. I love that, but there's not been an album rollout where I'm like, damn, this really like hits and it's like something that is meaningful. Like even like the Savage remix, I love that. But also like all the Duce Palooza dudes got outed for being fucking creeps. So like, cool. Like we're like all talking about how Duce Palooza is like a bunch of fucking predators. And then like you get this dropped and then like I feel like that just ruins this moment. But also helps it. I don't know. I don't know if that's off topic, but
I mean, it's a tough.
But you know what I mean? Like everyone's talking about this one thing, then this song drops, and then you're like, well, do I keep talking about this one thing, or do I ignore this because the song? Like, and I saw that very much happen, and you're just like, okay. Like the coolest thing that's coming out of quarantine is seeing Meg Thee Stallion get a Beyonce feature, but it was so overshadowed by this shitty thing that happened. So it's like,
I mean, that shitty thing I feel like lasted like a few hours on the timeline, and everyone moved on.
It shouldn't move on unless everyone's like.
But it probably did overshadow. It probably did overshadow like the one moment that Savage Remix had to like make an impact, which is like the moment that it dropped.
Right.
Whatever. The music discourse is fucking swamped and addled with the general zeitgeist. Let's move on to something that is more like one-on-one.
Okay.
I'm sure that while in chemo and while in like cancer quarantine and current quarantine, you've been consuming a lot of film and TV.
Mm-hmm.
What film and TV are you fucking with? Let's just run through like the top hitters. Just like
bang,
name them
bang,
and let's fucking
bang.
Run through
I watch everything. So
okay.
Hold on, nailed it.
Oh, I love Nailed It. Nailed It is my shit.
What is that?
It's like a baking show on Netflix. It's hysterical.
Wait, it's baking? I thought it was like a Armenian like nail salon family or some shit.
No, it's about like people that have no baking skills. It's called Nailed It. It's hysterical. It's like about that. It's like about amateur bakers trying to make like the most like.
Oh, Lawrence, Adam Pally is a huge fan of this.
Really?
A close personal celebrity friend, Adam Pally, is a huge fan of Nailed It.
Nailed It is really good for when you're high.
I haven't heard about this.
Like the whole point is like,
despite being always high,
it's like these amateur bakers, and they try and make these like intrinsic works of art, and then like they're like, "Oh, we nailed it!" And they're like, "Obviously, you did it." It's like so funny. I've watched every Housewives franchise. I've watched Vanderpump Rules again from the beginning, which I never saw.
Damn.
Oh wow! Welcome to the fraternity.
Well, no, wait. So I was a big fan of Vanderpump, like from season 4, but I never watched 1 through 3. And then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, this is why you're all fucked up because you all fucked each other like during the first 3 seasons."
What do you think of the current shit? Because like we're kind of
it's horrible. No, they need to revamp Vanderpump Rules. It is horrible. There's nothing that happens during any episode. Jax is literally holding. Jax and Sheena are holding that entire series on their shoulders. It has been so bad. I'm shocked by how bad it's been.
They're old.
I don't care about Raquel and like the other new bitch. I don't like. What is her name? I don't even know. I don't. Huh?
Dana.
Yeah, I don't care. And you spell your name with a Y. Like my sister's name is Dana. Dana spelled Dana. Period. That's the only way to spell it.
Period.
And so I'm so shocked by how boring it's gotten. And every time something gets remotely good, they're like, okay, next time on Vanderpump Rules. And you're like, okay, so you just spun this like 3 minutes of drama into 2 episodes. It's horrible. But all the Real Housewives franchises have been really good.
Summer House?
I don't watch that show yet.
Oh.
But because I need to like go from the beginning, because I never realized until I watched Vanderpump that it was tied in with that, and like that like crossover episode was really good. So I'm going to start with there. But besides that, I downloaded Shudder, which is like the horror streaming app, and that has been really good too.
You downloaded an entire horror streaming app?
You can add it to your Amazon Prime. It's called Shudder.
Why do you want to be so scared and so?
Wait, I like horror movies. They help my anxiety.
Wait, really? They don't make it. They don't escalate it.
No. So if I feel if I feel really anxious, I'll watch a horror movie because I'm like, oh, well, I'm anxious because like that person's gonna kill that person or this is happening. Because I have like generalized anxiety. So sometimes I'm like, why do I feel anxious? I have no idea. So if I watch horror movies, I'm like, oh, I feel anxious because like this person's about to die.
You need a scapegoat.
Yes, it's a scapegoat thing.
What are some horror movies and movies in general that you've been fucking with?
I really like The Invisible Man.
Really?
Oh,
yes. I really liked it.
Chuck?
Shout out Chuckles Zuvi Corner.
What do you think, Chuck?
I was a big fan. She fucking killed it, literally.
Oh, spoilers.
It was a lot of fun.
Literally just ruined the whole movie. Chuck, how high are you?
Oh. What kind of scale are we talking?
On a scale
Wait, Chuck's background is like true buffalo wings.
How can you tell? How can you tell?
I think I just got wet looking at that.
For the first time in 7 months.
No, Lauren, those are your nipples. It was a false alarm.
Oh, wait, I don't have nipples.
Then it was real. What makes them buffalo wings, actually?
Like how dark, like how dry rub they are.
What makes a nipple a nipple?
Best friends are each buying you a nipple.
Yeah, we're all buying, everyone's buying me nipples.
How much is a nipple?
Only 2 people.
Can you like?
I don't know. It's like I have no nipples. They took them. I was like very hoping they would save them, but they're like, your new nipples are not going to look good on your new boobs. So we just
wait. So because you're getting new nipples, you can pick the size and the shape and everything of your nipples.
We're gonna get to that.
Okay, go ahead.
Gonna get to that.
Oh, god damn it!
I just want to know: do they not save your nipples in like a jar of like vinegar?
Ice.
No, they didn't save them. I asked to save everything. They were like, no, really.
Lauren, I see what you're trying to do. We're gonna run through the rest of part 1 real quick.
No, I'm good. I'm
is
good.
Is there any film and TV you're not fucking with?
No.
You just consume everything.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the thing that sucks for me is like everyone sent me books during like it was like I have cancer and I was like read this book during your treatment. But what people didn't realize I think is like my chemo brain was the worst part of my treatment. Like and that's something that everyone's like, you're cured. I'm not cured. I'm in remission. And for me, the biggest thing is my mental health going forward. But chemo brain is what I've read from this. I got really into like nerding out on the studies, and this will all have a point, so I will circle back. But the studies of chemo brain was like it's basically a mix of Alzheimer's and ADHD.
Oh, so you're like Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Sure, yes, exactly.
Your brain is made of jello.
No, 100%. And so sometimes, like I remember the one day I was trying to figure out the word for
you fingered your brain in a hallway.
Oh, through an earlobe.
Wow. So the first day, like I realized I had it was I was trying to figure out the word for obtuse, and I couldn't figure it out for days, and it drove me crazy. And I was like, "Oh, this makes sense." Like whatever. So I couldn't read because every time I would try and read a book, I'd read like 50 pages in an hour, and then be like, "Okay, what did I just read?"
Yeah.
And it
How many words per minute is that?
I don't know, fucking asshole. I don't know what the fucking words for it. My point is, I would be reading it like because I'm a fast reader. I'd read it, and I wouldn't remember what I read. So because of that, I was like, okay, pause on reading. Let me watch every TV show. I mean, my ass is watching like, what is it called? Like Pretty Little Thing. What is that?
Liars?
No.
Lonely People?
I was watching like
normal people.
Like
normal
nighttime TV, like primetime TV. Like, I watched like
Survivor?
No, like
Blackish?
No, you guys are throwing
Modern Family?
No.
Throwing fits?
The Goldbergs?
Failing upwards?
You know what I watched? What I watched in 4 days was Nurse Jackie.
Danny Falco.
Amazing show, Showtime,
Wow.
Amazing.
Love
I watched I love Better Things, like Pamela Adlon, like I love her. I watched every Housewives, like I just watched everything.
Can you do me a favor? Can you give a 15-second elevator pitch to Lawrence on why he should get into 90 Day Fiancé, specifically before the 90 days?
Let's go.
90 Day Fiancé is the most delusional people you'll ever meet in your life, and you will completely feel better about yourself for being like crazy, but not like that crazy where you like sacrifice your entire sanity and your family and your friends for like a love interest. And that.
For like some woman that liked 3 of your pics on
Lawrence,
Instagram.
no, wait, why are we pitching this to Lawrence? Like,
Wait,
Lawrence,
the guy with no neck or all neck.
Look like I saw that man and I was like, damn, like that's what I look like. And that's what you know what I'm most scared of?
Who is that guy? Who's that guy?
He's
on 90 Day.
Yeah.
What's his name?
So,
What I'm most scared of in my recovery, I mean, I'm scared of like the fact that I feel like untethered right now. Like I don't have to go to doctor's appointments every day. But also that, like, when I grow hair back, I'm going to look like that man.
Well, Lauren, you just...
like a sexy Danny DeVito.
No, I already look like Danny DeVito. No, I really look like Danny DeVito. But that guy, my fear is like, damn, bitch, when you start growing some hair...
Lauren.
Oh, yeah, you want to see Moby?
Hold
you
on.
guys will laugh.
Lauren, you need to have some perspective here. You lost your hair. You lost your pubes.
Special occasion.
Yeah, I know. We're talking about
your nails are black. You had cancer.
Well,
you have no career prospects at all, and you're back in Buffalo. But you have a fucking neck, bitch. You have a neck. You're good. You're good.
Wait,
When you put the...
I lied at it. We're talking about...
Lauren,
Can we cut this part? We're like
it's just audio.
finagling.
It's just
I know we're finagling smoking
all right,
sticks.
cut. Chef, cut. Are you smoking inside?
Yeah, you can smoke and record.
Oh, can you?
No, we're fine. No, I meant like we were finagling.
Chef, don't
this
cut.
cigarette.
No, but it's fine. Keep it going.
We'll get this thing smoked. We're just talking about.
I need more of those nice candles.
Yeah, me and Mary are talking about smoking cigarettes inside and how to get them. Yeah, don't tell anyone I like. She beat cancer, and I'm so excited. Can you hear the podcast?
Well, no, but if you say that, everyone's going to hear it because this is the audio.
You're cutting it.
Are we? Let it
the
rock.
cut part.
Anyway,
Well, we're still recording, obviously. Are you ready to come back in?
yeah, I'm good.
All right. Lauren, you're an experienced, like Lawrence and myself, you are an experienced media man, or in your case, media woman. We want to know, especially because you had so much time to consume content, what media publications are you currently fucking with, if any?
TikTok, that's it.
That's a platform.
That's it.
I feel like everything else died, whether or not they had, like, I don't know, like a rapist in charge, or they had, like, really horrible content that people now realize, like, isn't important. Like, very few media companies have impressed me in the last 5 years, let alone in the last 6 months.
So TikTok is where it's at.
I like TikTok.
A Chinese surveillance company.
I am impressed with how Complex has kind of like persevered during all of this. I also like what Genius is doing. Like they're doing their verifieds, but at home. Like I just hope that this whole thing has taught people, like, it's okay to work from home. Like, I remember when I started out, and like literally up until last year, everyone's like, no one's working from home, blah, blah, blah. Why? Like, literally, I don't understand the whole thing about like against working from home. Like, it never made sense to me. So I just hope that people get more creative. I think this is like pushed platforms to become more creative. And I think that
Lauren, besides shouting out all of your old employers, what about Triller, the black TikTok?
Triller is TikTok. It's the same company, isn't it?
I think TikTok did.
No, it is.
Somebody bought Triller. It might have been TikTok.
Shit. Damn.
But it still is a standalone app as Triller.
Oh, yeah, the black TikTok.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, my thing is, it's all the same. It's like Vine.
It's cooler, inherently.
Yeah. Well, I think they're owned by the same company.
Yeah, like the Chinese Communist Party.
Maybe.
What boob sizes are you fucking with?
Okay, so do you want me to get in detail about my shit?
Yes.
Currently at a...
So I had a double mastectomy, which means they take out all the breast tissue and all the skin.
All the titty meat.
So right now...
No milkers.
No. My cancer actually started in my milk duct, which is really funny because I was like, I never wanted to breastfeed kids. I never even thought of this. But
Is that why your shit was leaking?
Mm-hmm.
The call was coming from inside the milker.
Yes. So what happened was, because of that, they took
like
out
one of those
everything.
farmers just dumping milk in the Midwest.
Oh, that pissed me off so bad. I saw that on the news last night. They're like, we don't know what to do with all this extra milk because there's no school. I was like, I don't know. Donate to people that need it, you fucking assholes. So, like, we're dumping it.
It's a supply chain issue. Anyway, back to your milkers.
So they offered me to have a lump. First, they were like, you can have a lumpectomy and then eventually get a double mastectomy or a mastectomy. And a lumpectomy is where they go in and take like the tissue around where the tumor was and take it out. And I was like, if I'm going into the knife, I might as well just get everything done and then take all of it. And so because of that, I basically woke up in the hospital bed with no one with me because of COVID, with no tits. But they put tissue expanders in. So the tissue expanders are in my breast right now. And every week I go and they stick these needles into each boob and they inflate them. So my hope is to get to a C. I'm actually downsizing from a double D. But because of that, I have to wait until the expanders are fully inflated and then leave them for like a few weeks. And then they swap in implants and I'm going full C. And I like plastic surgery and I like implants and I like what it looks like. So I'm not super weird about it. But to most people, this is probably the most like defeminizing, dehumanizing surgery. You're literally going in and they chop your tits off. And they take all of it.
Do you bring in like reference photos of like titties and you're just like, hey, like I want these?
You really can't. So like I can tell him I want my tits to look like this. And he'll do like my plastic surgeon, Dr. Lohman, shout out to him, but he'll do as best as he can. And then what they do is like, and so I had my double mastectomy and reconstruction. They're like, okay, you're cancer free, great, but this is all preventative, whatever. And then the next surgery I'll have is to like swap in the implants and they'll do some lipo and put the lipo fat around the boob. So
you're getting free. So you're getting free lipo. You're getting
free lipo.
You're getting
free
Bella
implants.
Hadid. You're getting Bella Hadid titties. You're getting lipo. Like, cancer sounds like a fucking.
Wait, so this guy, Dr. Lohman, he's an artist, right? Like
he's an artist. So right now, like one of my tissue expanders feels like it's under my armpit. And it feels so weird. But he's like, no, eventually, and it did it today. It like popped out. So like, it's very weird. I was a double D and now I'm like, so last week I was an A. Right now I'm a B. Like every week I experience a different boob size. But it is weird.
That's called personal growth, and we love to see it.
It is
every
fun.
color of the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is Dr. Lohman is he one of these like plastic surgeons that's like a TikTok star? Like
no, so he's like the coolest dude. He's so chill. He's very like blunt. He's like, Lauren, I know you want to have all this say in your boobs. So it's really about like what works and what looks best. But like he knows I only want a full C. So for me, in my head and how I've rationalized this and why I'm not freaking out is because to me it's like a free boob reduction.
Right.
But it is really jarring. Like I woke up with no tits.
Your back
It's
must be thanking
amazing.
you.
Oh my God. I was going to say, so I got out of surgery and I'm in surgery, or I was in surgery and outpatient. I stayed in the hospital for a night and I couldn't have anyone with me. So I FaceTimed my mom and she's like, how do you feel? And I was like, I can't tell you how much my back feels like. It was like an ounce of bricks taken off.
Immediately.
And I'm seeing like parts of my stomach that I never saw before because they were just covered in tits. And so the only weird thing is the nipple thing. Like that, it throws you for a loop. You have no nips at all.
So how do you get new nipples? Like, is that a reference photo thing? Like, is it an thing? Like,
it's like, so eventually for me, what I'm hoping is once I get my implants in, that heals. And then I go back and they like can make the nipples out of your skin.
It's
which
like
gross.
A grafting thing, right? Or whatever.
No, it's like on my tit. So it's weird because I'm going to be completely awake, but with local anesthesia, which is the worst. That's exactly how it's how my biopsy went, which is gross. Like I'd rather just be put under, but they go in and I have no feeling in my boobs, which is why they can like stick them with needles to inflate them, which is disgusting, but I don't feel it. So they're going to eventually go in and like take skin and like basically make it into that like curly Q of a nipple. And then they tattoo over it.
Nice.
Whoa, shit.
It's really a lot. But my thing is like, if I would have kept my old nipples, which I could have, they would have been like big titty nipples on small tits, which is like,
so they picked the tattoo.
You guys are men. You know how gross like big nipples look on smaller titties.
Hey, not gonna titty shame.
No.
Not gonna titty shame.
We're not gonna fall into that trap. So you can just pick. So if you sketch them out, what?
No, my biggest thing is making sure they're like the size and the placement I want, and then we do nips. I don't get
if they're tattoos.
I was never, you know this, I'm not a patient person. I'm a fucking sporadic, insane person.
You're a doer.
So for me, I'm like learning patience through all this. So like eventually I get to pick my nipples.
But you're not even there. You're not there yet.
If your nipples are tattoos, like A, are they going to need a touch up in a few years? And B, are you going to get like a pretty little rose?
No, that's the thing. Like that's some like breast cancer shit. Like, oh, like let's like make this pretty. Like,
no. Again, it's a
I have a huge scar on my chest right now. That's my biggest concern because I had a Metaport. I don't know if you guys know what that is. So
no idea.
What's that?
Basically, when you get chemo or you get any like if you're getting stuff done a lot, you have to get injected, and I have no veins, so they put a port in my chest.
Don't rub the microphone.
Oh, sorry. This is a funny cocaine story. So
the best kind of story.
So I come back to Buffalo. I move back to Buffalo. They're like, okay, cool. You're starting treatment. We're going to put a port in because your veins are really shitty. I don't have veins on my arms. So they put a port in my chest and they did it. It's kind of like a little cushion thing that they can just prick every time. So every time I got blood work or if I got chemo, it was through this port. And when I got back to Buffalo, they're like, okay, you're getting this first and foremost, and then we'll figure out your treatment. So the local anesthesia drugs are fentanyl and Xanax. I'm sorry. Clearly, I have a tolerance to.
You got that Fenty drip.
I was actually awake during the entire procedure because I had tolerance to it. And
you did not tell anybody that beforehand.
Well, no, but I will tell you this. So, leading up to my double mastectomy, they're like, please don't smoke cigarettes, no weed, no smoking, whatever. And they're like, anesthesia is going to call you for like a quiz before you do your surgery. I say, okay, cool. They're like, okay, so have you ever done street drugs? I was like,
street drugs?
I was like, what do you consider street drugs? Like, I don't know.
Coke.
And they're like, no, they're like heroin. I'm like, oh no. Like, I'm like, oh, phew. Like, never done heroin. And they're like, okay, cool. Ecstasy. I was like, well, no, I've done Molly. They're like, when? And I was like, last year, like, I don't know. And they're like, okay, cool. Have you ever done cocaine? I was like, yep. And they're like, when? And I'm like, I tell them, okay, hold on one second. And then this woman gets on the phone. She's like, hi, I'm the director of anesthesia. Like, we just want to make sure, like, your heart is good. Like, when's the last time you did cocaine? So they're like, ask me 100 questions. I'm like, okay, cool. They're like, we might actually piss test you before your surgery. And I was like,
damn.
Okay, cool. So my surgery is at 4:30 in the morning. So I get there so early.
I hope I passed the drug test to save my life.
So they're like, we're piss testing you. I'm like, bet. So I get into surgery. I'm like, maybe they won't. We don't know. They're like, we don't know. Maybe we'll pee test you. Like, you can't do coke for 3 weeks following up to your surgery. And I was like, I just finished chemo. Like, there's no way I'm doing coke in between chemo and this. Like, I promise you. They're like, yeah, we'll see. So I like get into like this. I get into like pre-op. Right? I like walk in by myself because I can have no gas because of COVID. My mom's like, bye, sweetie, like in the car crying. I'm like, okay, bye. Get into pre-op. They're like, can you piss in this jar? I'm like, okay. So I pee in it. I'm like, motherfuckers. I get in my bed, right? You're in a post-op bed next to like the person on the right had like brain cancer. So she was like saying goodbye to her husband. I was crying. It was like the most traumatic thing. Jesus. And then the dude on the left is like this Hurdle bar rat, which like Hurdle's like this like really towny strip of bars. And he's like, yeah, like I have prostate cancer. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like in the bed and they're like, okay, like you have to sign a release. And I was like, a release for what? And they're like, oh, you've done cocaine in the last 5 years. So I signed an appendix
5 years, obviously.
Wait, so I signed this appendix form that's like, it's okay if I have a heart attack during anesthesia because I did coke in the last 5 years. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like such a fucking loser. And then my surgeon, she's a woman, Helen Cappuccino. She's the best.
Her name's Cappuccino.
Yeah, Dr. Cappuccino. She comes in. She goes, what is this? Is this a COVID test? She goes, cocaine. She goes, what is this? 1981. I was like, bitch, we're still doing coke in the 2010s. Sorry to break it to you. And she goes, fuck this shit. I can't believe they put you through it. And I like literally went through like cocaine screening.
What?
Horrible.
Fire.
Damn, that sounds miserable.
Anyway.
You made it out. You didn't have a heart attack because of the cocaine that you did.
Well, they're like, maybe in like the anesthesia would fuck with you.
Well, it's a serious thing, and anesthesiology.
So, and this is great that we're talking about this for any kids at home who are considering using
Please
hard
don't
drugs.
do coke. You'll never be able to have a regular surgery and don't smoke cigs.
Yeah, you never know what could happen in the future. You could get cancer. You could be on your deathbed and you're going to need to sign a form. And
Dr. Macchiato says, don't do cocaine.
So much of my treatment, I was like, is this because I drank and smoked? And they were like, other cancers, like mine was in an organ technically. So they're like, they said it was a freak incident.
Okay.
So you could have other cancers coming up down the road, which is a great segue.
But the point is, don't hit the dopio if you don't want to meet Dr. Dopio. It's that simple.
Exactly.
But they really made me. I've never felt like more of a drug addict. I was like, and my dad was like, "Why would you be honest with the surgeon? Like you haven't done it this year." And I was like, "Thanks, Dad." That's
why would you be honest? Don't ever be honest with the doctor.
He's like, "This is the problem. You're too honest. You just talk too much." I was like,
Papa Nostro knows the fucking vibes. All right, well, so you basically have been, like you said, you've basically been in quarantine since November 2019. No. When did your quarantine kind of start? Because
probably February. I was like pretty much myself.
So this is all brand new to us, right? We've kind of been quarantined for what, like 7 weeks now? For you, it's been
yeah. So my thing was, I had 20 weeks of chemo, and 12 of those weeks was weekly chemo, but it was a chemo called carbotaxol, and that's what makes my nails black. It makes my hair fall out. That chemo was weird, but it wasn't as bad as the second half of my chemo. So for the first 12 weeks of chemo, I was totally normal. Really.
All right. So how long were you like really bedridden at home?
How long were you carbo loading for? What was that?
That the carbo loading. So the first.
I'm kidding.
No, but it's true. The first 12 weeks was a chemo where I was on steroids, and that made me crazy. And that 12 weeks I felt normal, but I was big as hell. And then the last 8 weeks was it's like this mixture cocktail.
This is literally, so you said carbo loading. I couldn't hear you. You said literally carbo loading.
It's called carbotaxol.
Oh, okay.
But it is carbo loading. Yes.
What?
And so the first 12 weeks were really bad. And then the last 8, I was on a cocktail that included a chemo that is nicknamed the Red Devil. And that's a chemo that destroyed me. So I was like, I'm good, bitch. Like, I'm out. Like, me and my friends went out every Saturday. Like, I was like drinking normal, like on weekends. And then I started the second one, and it was really fucking bad.
Well, I just want to focus, Lauren, because we are going to talk about the horrible shit behind the paywall for all the fucking sadist nerds listening that really want to fucking wank off to, basically self-torture. When it comes to quarantine and quarantining yourself at home, like, you are an expert.
Yeah.
So now that we are all experiencing this shit, like, what are some quarantine activities that you are really fucking with besides just like, puking up in your toilet?
Wait, I never puked. Actually.
Oh, that's amazing.
Never once?
Never once. The only time I puked
Weird flex, but okay.
Weird flex, but okay. I puked. The only time I puked was when I finished chemo. I drank a ton of natural wine with a best friend of mine.
That juice.
Chain smoked cigarettes. Weird way to finish chemo. And I threw up the next day. That was the only time.
Just because you were hungover, though.
Yeah, it was a hangover. And I so fought it for so many hours. I was like, I'm not throwing up. I haven't done it. And then I was like, like the boot and rally. I was like, I'm throwing up.
That doesn't count, though.
But no, so we're all getting used to this new reality, but this is a reality that you've been living for a longer amount of time. So, like, what are some
my biggest things are like, I was a big fan of like getting up in the morning, taking a shower, or I took so many baths during chemo because baths like made my limbs feel good. So like I made sure I woke up at a certain time, took a shower, a bath. I would like kind of break up my day by TV, which I guess you could break up by reading or like whatever you do. And then I got into like weird things. So like I started like making my own. I'm like a big fan of kombucha. Like I love drinking, but I could never, if you could only have kombucha or wine, what would you have? I would choose kombucha.
Wine.
Like I got
wine.
No, I got really into kombucha. Like it makes me
Did you make your own?
Yeah, so I started making my own with the Scobie Hotel. Yeah, I pooped on.
No wonder you threw up. You're drinking that kombucha, dude.
The kombucha was really good. And so I made my own kombucha. I started like gardening, which is the recommendation from my friend Carly.
You went full Instagram mood board.
I really did. And I just like did little things that like made me.
You sound like you sound like a sentient tea magazine. Lauren, what quarantine activities are you not fucking with? Like, is there anything that people are like, are you into like baking sourdough?
No. I mean, I have. So my mom's best friend bought me a Le Creuset, which I really wanted for so long. You know, they're really expensive. I didn't realize how expensive.
I got one when I got married. It was on my registry.
See, like I don't think I'll get married anytime soon or have kids. So like that is a registry item.
If you could be so lucky.
Lawrence,
Lawrence, I want to ask you this, Lawrence. Are you enjoying the avocado dicer that I got you for your wedding?
You know, it's funny. Like we never use it at all. Thanks for asking.
Thanks for putting it on your registry.
I hate avocado. It's a weird. I don't. It's
are you
weird.
white? Are you not white?
I'm white, but like the thing is, like, I don't know.
Is that what separates the Italians from the whites?
No, most Italians I know and like.
Italians don't eat avocado toast.
No. But I will tell you, like,
That's the LA in you.
it's such a registry item, but it's so nice. But no, I have not been making bread. The problem I have with quarantine is everyone thinks they're a chef. And like, there are times where I go on Instagram stories and I'm like scrolling through it and people's food just makes me so sick. Like,
Just
especially
call me out. Just call me out by name.
no, during
Really?
you've been doing a nice presentation. Like during chemo,
You're a hater.
I would like be scrolling Instagram and I'm like, oh my God, I feel so. I have the nausea. I have the
Call them
nausea.
out. Name names.
No, it's not even names. I had the nausea that was like food induced. Like if I like pesto really grossed me out. And then like everyone was doing like some Allison Roman pesto recipe. And I'm like, that shit looks fucking nasty. But then also I feel like it's given people this like leeway to be so like flagrant. Like, hey, I cooked cereal today. Look at this cereal. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, yo, you're all like
little
living.
recipe from Allison Roman.
Right, and like, but it's like if I see one more person make the shallot, like it probably is good. Like I don't know.
It's good. It is good.
I feel like quarantine has ruined some meals, and if I see one more motherfucker make fucking red sauce that looks like tomato,
let's get right into this. Let's get right into this, Lauren, because you are a domestic goddess, as we said. What food have you been fucking with recently?
So. Like, I'm really into Mexican food again. So I've been making like taco bowls, really simple. So this is a big thing for me. So I am queen of processed meats. I'm an Italian. I love the gabagool. I love the mortadella. And like cancer muggles in the beginning were like, oh, well, like processed meats, like go plant-based. All I want, and I've been waiting until I get my new apartment, is to go to an Italian grocery butcher called Gershio's and get like mortadella, soppressata, like the gabagool, like everything, and just make like that fat Italian sandwich. Like I can't fucking wait for that. But my issue is like, we have a lot of people that are like, oh my God, I'm making a red sauce because you guys had some tomatoes and then it looks like fucking tomato soup. Like imagine, like for me, a lot of times it's like you all feel proud pouring something that looks like tomato soup over noodles. Like that's so poor. Like that looks so gross.
Don't be classist.
No, it's not. It looks nasty. Like that looks fucking gross.
Yeah, you said.
How's your sauce? What's the secret? My
sauce is a 5-hour sauce. I don't play with that shit. It's got 7 different tomatoes in it, and we mush it all up, and it's good. But my point is like everyone wants to be a chef now. It's like, sweetie, I get it. We're all in fucking quarantine, but no one needs to see a little toasted toast in the morning.
Roasting a hot dog.
Or like I've seen people roast hot dogs with forks over a fucking grill.
That's me. All right.
Wait, I like hot dogs. I will eat.
Shit.
I'm with my best friend from high school, Mary, who's seen me eat a raw hot dog. I'll eat raw hot dog.
Wait,
I don't think raw hot dogs exist. I think hot dogs come pre-cooked. You
they're
just
all
eat them
cooked.
up.
It's just cold.
Is it cold? No, they're not cooked. They're just cold.
No,
they're not cooked.
They are cooked and they're cold.
They're processed and cooked already. You can eat it raw. It's disgusting, but it's not.
Okay, well
raw.
then I ate it raw, bitch.
Well, not raw. Excuse me. What's the term?
Cold.
Just cold.
It's not raw. It's cold. So my point is, I hate how everyone's like becoming like these chefs, and I'm like, oh, but you don't want to hate on people because like whatever gets you through it gets you through it. You know, like I don't know.
Well, let's talk about something that's getting me and Lauren's through quarantine, which is John's. So fuck would not fuck with, working title Completo, probably the longest fuck would not fuck with in recent memory. Although that's not true. This shit usually takes about this amount of time. Lauren, before we move into the main subject matter of this podcast, we want to play a little game with you. Last John, next John. We want to know what was the last John you copped, what's the next John you got your eye on, and then we got a little bonus quarantine question after. So first up, last John that you copped.
The Balenciaga motocross bag from 2009, vintage on the real.
Specific as fuck. I love it. And what's the next John you got your eye on? It might already be in your shopping cart.
I really want to buy a nice Gucci bra when I get my new tits. Like, I don't know what it's going to look like. I just know I want like a designer bra. Like, I've always been like,
Agent provocateur?
No.
Oh, she said Gucci, no? You said Gucci.
I want like a Gucci bra. Like, I feel like I should deserve that. Like, for
like
me.
Gucci, like Tom Ford Gucci?
Like the G.
Ford.
They do that? They do that? No, I'm talking
My thing is, they do, like, designer bras are a thing. My thing is, I had bought the Fenty Savage corset. And I've actually brought that to my plastic surgery. Like, this is actually the size I want to be. And I got that in a medium. So I'm hoping that my tits, like, I want my tits. So
you're reverse engineering the size based on the John.
Yes.
That's
and then
specific.
My leftover bras, like my ones from when I was a double D, like my aunts, my dad's sisters, who are like the queens of white trash. They'll never listen to this, so I can say that. They're like, oh, I heard you're like getting rid of your tits. Like, can I have the bras? And I'm like,
hell yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. And they're like, well, when can I have them? And I was like, it's like kind of like a big thing for me to like give away my bras. Like, I don't fit them. She's like, okay, well, anytime. She's like, the last bra I got was from Goodwill. And I was like, okay, that's
what?
Great.
They don't
My dad's family is very, very like white trash in the nicest way.
Italian trash.
Sure. White Italian thing. But
all right, Lauren, thank you for coming on the only podcast that matters and wrapping up with part 1, 2 hours and 12 minutes. Although it's probably going to be like 2 hours.
Yeah, it'll be fair.
We're about to get into part 2 of this very fucking spicy podcast with Calabrian Cheles, Sham Chef. I'm gonna need you to hit that motherfucking latest.
Man, I just love the Versace store. Versace, 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 whoa, Versace, 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 Medusa head on me like I'm Illuminati. I know that you like it. Versace, my neck and my wrist is so slutty. Versace, I love it. Versace, the top on my Audi. My plug is Giancotti, he give me the dust and I know that they mighty. Shoes, shirt, Versace. Yo, bitch went in on my pockets. She asked me why my drawers silk. I told that bitch Versace. What else? Cheetah print on my sleeve. What else? But I ain't never been in the jungle. Try to take my set, better run with it, nigga, don't fumble. Versace, Versace, Versace. Versace, 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 Versace. You can do chewing, I do it. Versace, I do. You got the Honda, I got the Mazda. I do. You want the mid, you do it. Exotic, I set the trend, you niggas classy. Cooking the dope like I work at Hibachi. Looking and watching, blah, hot like some tacky. Come to my room, my seat, Versace. When I go to sleep, I drink Versace. Medusa. These niggas, they wish that they knew you. They copping the jewelry, missing the Louis. My blacks is fat and exclusive. Fat straight shirt like I'm turning the tiger. I'm beating the pack on me, Mike. Now that you niggas, they copy. From my closet, Versace, Versace. Versace, Versace, Versace. Versace, 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 Versace.